Paris, our favorite city on the planet. A lot of people say that, but we mean it. I mean, we've been here before, long before these cameras, long before the global canvas was even an idea. Back then, we were just two kids trying to figure out what beauty was supposed to feel like. And you can bet your bottom dollar, you can feel it here. I mean, we got engaged here back in 2010 for crying out loud. But Paris isn't all baguettes and cigarettes. There's always been something heavier running under its veins. A pulse made of both love and violence. The kind that only comes from being human too long.
You've been around in this area for a while. Have you seen a good amount of protest and rebellion in Paris?
Yeah. Every weekend? Yeah, every weekend something is happening.
In Paris, you got 2-3 marches every weekend. I don't even know what it's for. Like, yeah, just quit asking because it's literally all the time. So it's very cultural. Mm-hmm.
And at this intersection between Catholicism and capitalism, one can confess their sins, but only after leaving through the gift shop. It's a place where lovers leave their litter and artists make their mark. Where leaders erect monuments to themselves. This is Paris, our favorite city on the planet.
We out here.
Hi, my name is Carlos. I travel, I tattoo, and I take it all in. One country at a time, one tattoo at a time. Travel is what inspires me. Tattooing is what guides me. This is how I interpret the world. This is the global canvas.
Before the poets, before the revolution, before the wine and the romance and all the glitter, there was mud. Paris began as a swamp, a nervous tangle of reeds and mist. The Parisi tribe called it home, a fog-soaked island where people whispered to river gods. Then came the Romans, who drained the marsh and named it Lutetia. Mud. Even in its name, the city couldn't wash off the dirt. So maybe that's why Paris has spent centuries trying to disguise the mud. Every column, every chandelier, every cafe terrace, all of it feels like rebellion against the earth it rose from. I mean, this is the city that refuses to crawl. Paris exists to spite its own beginnings. Let me give you an example.
Let me introduce you guys to Paris in 3 acts, historically speaking.
The Palace of Versailles is one of the most extravagant symbols of royal power and artistry in the world. Originally a hunting lodge built by King Louis XIII in 1623, it was transformed by his son, Louis XIV, the Sun King, starting in 1661, into a massive palace and seat of political power. Versailles became the center of the French court and symbol of absolute monarchy until the French Revolution in 1789. It was designed in the Baroque style in terms of symmetry, grandeur, and elaborate decoration. The palace itself has over 2,300 rooms. The most famous, of course, is the Hall of Mirrors, a 240-foot-long gallery lined with 357 mirrors reflecting sunlight and candlelight, and also a place where my kid was unimpressed. The gardens of Versailles are arguably just as impressive as the palace itself. Designed by André Lenolte, covering nearly 2,000 acres, perfectly geometric with fountains, canals, and sculpted greenery, the gardens themselves were staged for court life. People socialized, staged performances, even naval battles in the Grand Canal. Today, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, one of the most visited monuments in France.
Now for some dead people.
Père Lachaise Cemetery opened in 1804 under Napoleon as one of the first garden cemeteries. At that time, people didn't want to be buried there because it wasn't considered holy ground, so administrators moved the supposed remains of Molière and La Fontaine to the cemetery to attract burials. It worked. It became fashionable. It is now the largest cemetery in Paris, with around 110 acres and over 1 million burials. I found one grave that had over 25 people buried in the exact same location. The mausoleums here are like small cathedrals, Gothic chapels, Egyptian obelisks, and Art Nouveau sculptures. It is essentially an open-air museum of 19th and 20th century funerary art. The cemetery mirrors Paris itself. Romantic, layered, melancholy, but alive with stories. Statues of angels can be seen everywhere, walking through the graves of geniuses and rebels, thinking about legacy, art, and mortality. And though I had visited the cemetery in the past, I had the hardest time finding the one memorial I was here to see today. It's the final resting place of one of my favorite composers, Frédéric Chopin, the Polish-born weaver of music and masterpiece. I've long maintained, and this is a visual artist speaking, but I've long maintained that the musical compositions of Frédéric Chopin, it's some of the strongest and most solid emotion, and wherever that music was played, the people in that room felt what this man felt while composing. It is undeniable.
And now to get holy.
This is the Basilica of the Sacred Heart of Paris, or Basilique du Sacré-Cœur, located in Montmartre, the highest natural point in the city. It was built between 1875 and 1914, and consecrated in 1919 after World War I. Why was it built? It was commissioned after France's defeat in the Franco-Prussian War of 1870 and the bloody Paris Commune uprising of 1871. The church was intended as both national penance and as a spiritual symbol of hope, reconciliation, and renewal. So it's not just a church, it's a political and religious monument and statement. Most tourists just come here for the view over Paris, which is arguably the best in the city, but also street performers show up, artists, vendors, and they create a lively and oftentimes chaotic atmosphere at the steps. Inside, though, the atmosphere is hushed, spiritual, and reflective, the way these churches are meant to be respected.
But you're not here for that. You want to see some tattoo stuff.
Though history feels far away, the spirit of rebellion never left, I'm sure of it. You can feel it in the hum of a tattoo studio, and the people who still make art on their own terms. That defiance runs in the blood here.
Raven Ink Tattoo is a dope little tattoo spot, boasting some of the tightest artwork I've seen painted by tattooers, as well as extraordinarily well-crafted tattoo work. I mean, look at this, for crying out loud. Talk about solid composition. I sat down to interview Maureen, but she was stumbling a little bit over her balance of French and English. And quite organically, her client's wife decided to chime in and say a couple nice things about tattooing as an art form.
I think the tattoo artists here in Paris are like small and private, and yet they do a lot of nice art, and that's what I love about Paris. You just can walk around and just find a place like here that is, not like a business that's so big. It's more like by its own, and I like that.
Yeah, the connection is real.
Yeah, the connection is real.
There's something to say about it.
It is, and
But believe me, I pushed and pushed and pushed, but there's just no budging Maureen.
Do you think that public demonstration actually affects public policy here?
I think yes, but I don't really know.
So you've been around in this area for a while. Have you seen a good amount of protest or rebellion in France, in Paris?
Yeah. Every weekend?
Every weekend.
Yeah, every weekend something is happening. It's been a few months that it's better, but since 2017 we had the terrorist attack in 2015 to 16. Then in 2018 we got the yellow jacket, and since then it's riots very, very, very often, and it's not cool for the shop.
It's not good for the shop?
No.
As a Parisian, how do you feel? Not as a businessman.
No, I understand why people are mad and against the government and all that, but for a shop owner it's less work and less customer, less walk-ins, so that's not easy to have a shop in those days. COVID and strike and riots.
COVID, yeah, that nearly bankrupted us. We had to be shut down for 3 months and had to pay out of pocket for all the bills because we weren't getting any assistance
assistance.
Did you get any financial assistance from the government?
No. It really depends of many things, and I didn't get any assistance. And we had like almost 2 years of the shop to shut down, so I have to take some loans.
Yeah.
To borrow some money to be able to pay everything. So
We're surviving.
kind of. Yeah. we are fighting to continue like that.
In the West, in America, we romanticize and we are very interested in the French Revolution.
Yeah.
Would you say that same spirit is still happening today? Is it the same motivating force since then?
Yeah, since school they are teaching us a lot about revolution. But myself, I prefer the Napoleon area. But because a lot of people suffer and died during the revolution. It's called the terror, and this is where we create the guillotine, and many people get their head cut off. It wasn't a very cool moment, I think.
Today I'm out here at Freaks and Geeks in Paris. How did Freaks and Geeks start?
Well, I opened up the shop in 2011, 2012, something like that. I just wanted a spot, like everyone to travel around and, just fit in with what I was doing. Just a place for everyone that felt a little bit different, actually, Because here in Paris, the tattoo scene's kind of, it's almost like high school, you know what I mean? You got like the same group of guys doing the same thing. And you got like little groups of people that just don't really fit in anywhere. So it's more of a place for just like that, to start off. Yeah, for the Freaks and the Geeks. Yeah, got a stupid reason to open up a shop, but just like a place that's like fucking tattoo shop.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for traveling tattooers to have like a hub somewhere, and this isn't just somewhere, it's Paris.
Yeah.
But they have a hub somewhere where you can know that you can have your spot. It's awesome.
Yeah. And then like, the local guys that work here, the same local guys that have been working with me for years. There's been like a big revolving door.
Most people, tattooers that I met, work with, they change spots between 2 to 5 years anyway.
Yeah, like that's, I mean, you're talking about tattooists, we're not like the most stable people on the face of the planet. You're talking about big personalities. Some guys got big egos. Some guys got fucking drug problems. Some guy got family problems. And some guys got fucking mental problems. You know what I mean? That's just that part has always been in the business.
Yeah.
At least as far as I know. Yeah.
We wouldn't be here if we didn't have a little bit of that going on.
Yeah, like if you were that good of an artist, you wouldn't be tattooed. You know what I mean? Like you'd have your shit up in the Louvre.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I majored in art history. I could tell you those people were just as crazy as me.
Oh yeah. That goes along with like musicians, painters, sculptors.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
Little fucking weird.
Walking around with a sword, testing people at the local tennis courts.
Yeah. I can tell everybody. I know guys that only have like 500 followers on fucking Instagram, and they're booked solid with good clients, happy clients.
Yeah.
They're paying real money. You know what I mean?
Did you ever stop to think that you and I specifically, as well as everybody in the industry, we are doing better than most Renaissance painters ever could dream of?
Money-wise? Yeah.
Opportunity-wise?
Yeah.
Do you think like anybody who was like an apprentice as an oil painter, do you think they all had patrons? They could all feed their family doing it? They were probably doing other work too.
Probably just either doing other work or paid out of the pocket of the artists. And don't worry, they weren't paying them a shit ton of money.
Yeah, they're getting tipped out essentially.
Yeah.
I feel like the same way about it is like always have like every generation kind of like tries to push the one that was there before to like their limits.
Yeah.
And then like it's very much like a father and son type of relationship. Like you want to prove them wrong,
Yeah.
And the technology's better now.
Yeah.
Needles are better, machines are better, but
Education is better.
Education's better, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, there's just a limit of, like, what's possible fucking reality. You know what I mean? Like out in like South Korea, like microrealism, it's like all the rage. I think it's gonna look like shit in 10 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 months it'll look like shit, depending on who did it.
Yeah.
You always got like that one guy in 1,000. You know, it's like palm tattoos, you know?
You got Luke Ashley who's killing it. with
Luke
all
Ashley fucking killing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you see him healed, you know they're gonna look tits in 10 years. You know?
I try my best.
Yeah, just try the best with what you got. You just don't keep it that same base. And, you know, it works for like...
How old is this?
Oh, this is like 10 years old. This is like 15 years old.
Yeah.
You know? They look like shit.
No, they look good except for that.
Ashley didn't do them. You know what I mean? But, you know, like, do the best you can with what you got, talent you got. Clients happy, you'll come back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Zach, thank you so much.
Nice to meet you, brother. Nice to meet you.
Maybe that's why this place always feels like home to me. Paris welcomes the vagabonds, the romantics, the ones who can't decide if they belong anywhere. An artist like me, a life like mine. So I needed to remember it forever, as souvenir funge Paris. But this isn't about me. This is about us. Somewhere, though, in my heart, I still feel like that little kid. Always the kid chasing his dreams. And it turns out, he caught him.
Allez, gecko!